Hello, thank you for coming to watch this video. I really appreciate the chance to tell you a little bit more about myself. When it comes to conflicts, and I'm sure you hear this a lot, I really don't have a lot of conflicts, at least not with other people. I tend to try to nip conflicts in the bud as quickly as I can before they become an issue. So usually when something is just, what would be the word, a slight friction, I try to resolve it before it becomes a conflict. I also must admit that I do go out of my way to avoid conflict until I can think of the best way to approach it without hurting anybody's feelings or creating an atmosphere that's uncomfortable. So I do realize that you want an example. So in my last clinical, I did have a conflict, and it was an internal conflict. Was something that happened that I felt really bad about and really didn't know how to handle. We had a patient. She was a post-valvular repair patient. She was in light sedation, so she was aware of what was going on, but she kind of drifted in and out of sleep. She was about 500 pounds, and she had C. diff also. So it took about 6 of us to roll her and clean her and change her pads out. And I noticed that every time we were there, the nurses would make, I'll be honest, very unkind comments like, "Oh, so how gross is that?" or "Oh my God, is she so big?" And it just really hurt my feelings because I realized that it was just a roll of the dice that wasn't me on that bed. And I could not imagine what she must have felt like to hear those things. So I did what I could. I rub her arm and tell her I know she was sore and that I thought she was very brave for going through what she was going through, and I didn't confront the people that were making these comments. But I wanted to. I wanted to say, wow, guys, that is so unprofessional. That is so hurtful, and it's just not right. But what ended up happening is we were all in the break room later on, and I said, okay, that's it. Today I'm going on a diet. And one of the nurses said, why? And I said, well, I just never want to be sick in a hospital bed and have people think I'm gross or huge or any of that. And one of the other nurses, she knew what was going on, and she immediately said, "You're talking about so-and-so in room such and such." And I said, yeah. I said I felt bad for her. I felt like we hurt her feelings. And one of the other nurses said, "Oh, don't worry, she's on propofol, she's not going to remember anything." And I said, but I have to imagine that in that moment it has an effect. And I know for me, when I'm not well, I have to have the right frame of mind to heal, and I think she needs that too. And one of the nurses says, well, but how did she get like that? I mean, how could anybody get like that? And I said, well, you don't know what someone has been through. Maybe she lost her whole family in a car accident. Maybe she lost her home. Maybe she has a glandular problem and has to take medications that made her this way. You just don't know. Anyway, believe it or not, it was a very pleasant conversation. It was very light. And what ended up happening is at the end of all that, one of the nurses said, yeah, you know what? I'm thinking about it, and I think that I don't want to talk like that around patients anymore, even if they can't hear me. So I felt better ultimately because I didn't directly confront anybody, but at the same time, I brought it up and let people come to their own conclusions, and hopefully it will have a ripple effect in the future, and those particular people will have a little bit more censorship over what they say in front of patients. So that's my conflict story. And I hope that you watch my other videos to get to know me better. And if you like me and you'd like to hire me, or if you just have a comment, I hope that you will go to my comments page and shoot me an email or a text. Thank you again for watching. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.